10 paces. Tense moment. It's Basler. Oh, deflected it in! First blood to Bayern Munich. And Manchester United, as they've done time and time again on this European run, have made it hard for themselves.
I was starting to think myself what I'm going to say, to the players, at time up. And what I was going to say, I said, well, give it a great year. You've won the double.
We just thought it was all over, and it was desperate efforts. Peter came up into the area for a corner, and it was throw caution to the wind.
We were awarded a corner, and Peter Schmeichel, I remember I was behind that goal. He ran the whole way up the field. And I remember we got up, we all stood up one last time.
The big goalie's coming up.
Peter Schmeichel is forward.
Can he score another in Europe? He's got one in Europe.
Ball went to the far post, Yorkie got it back in, the ball was bobbling about, it went to Giggsy on the edge of the area. He did it with his right foot, and everybody knows Giggsy's not going to hit the target from 20 yards with his right foot, so I was just alive to the moment, and the ball came rolling to me, and lucky for me I got a little scuff on it, and gone down an issue.
Teddy Sheringham, with 30 seconds of added time play, has equalised for Manchester United.
And it wasn't luck, it was belief. And belief will win you things when all hope is gone.
And Steve McClaren says, right, let's go back to 4-4-2 extra time. We'll win this. I says, look, Steve, this is not finished. I knew it wasn't finished. I knew we'd win.
Manchester United weren't lucky to win the European Cup. How many teams would have thanked their lucky stars to be looking at extra time? But they didn't.
Is this their moment? Beckham. Into Sheringham. And Solskjaer won it!
And I'll tell you that night, Duncan Edwards and Tommy Taylor joined the attack, and don't tell me they didn't. And Bobby Charlton came into midfield, and Liam Billy Whelan was there. I think we had 20 players on the pitch. Maybe only you saw 11 of them in red shirts. But it was all the Munich boys were on there too.
And nobody will ever win a European Cup final more dramatically than this.
Just before we went out, I said, by the way, at the end of the game, that cup's sitting right there, and you can't do a thing about it. It's not your property. You can't touch it. It doesn't belong to you. You only get it if you win it. It's the greatest moment of my life.
Manchester United have reached the promised
A lot of teams in England have history and passion and their own stories, but
Nobody can touch Manchester
our
United.
team is Man United.
I was only a young lad. I was at school, and I'd gone up to train with my local junior team, but I'd been at the library studying, and I'd gone from the library straight to the train, so I had no idea at all about the news of the Munich air disaster.
The accident happened on the third attempt at a takeoff from the Munich airfield with slush on the runway, and it didn't get off the floor, and it ran straight off the end of the runway and hit a house, and many of my friends and many of the great young Manchester United players were killed.
Everybody was shocked that night. I'm a lorry driver and I was in a digs up Newcastle on Tyne. And they said the United plane has crashed. I nearly died of fright. They said, yes, it has, from Munich, she said. So they're sad moments, aren't they, really? They are. Yeah. So,
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm speaking from my bed in the Isaac Hospital, Munich, where I have been since the tragic accident of just over a month ago. You will be glad, I'm sure, to know that the remaining players here and myself are now considered out of danger. Again, it's wonderful to hear that the club have reached the semi-final of the FA Cup. And I impose my best wishes to everyone.
I think that initiated this great love for the club. They'd lost their team But the real romance maybe started with some rebuilding it, you know, from the sort of remnants of what happened in Munich. A few players left from it, and building our team within 10 years to win a European Cup.
We played against the Portuguese. We won 4-2 after extra time, 4-1, beg your pardon, after extra time, and there again I wasn't happy that night. I wasn't happy. I was just drained at the end of it.
There was a banquet after the game, and the banquet became a very, very sad occasion as well, because the players that died at Munich, their parents were at the game, and you're talking to one or two of them afterwards, and you think to yourself, well, if these lads hadn't been killed at Munich, I wouldn't have been there, because they'd have been young enough to have still played in the European Cup final that year.
My wife always says to me, we cannot go out and meet anybody and not talk about Manchester United, which is very true. I find that within 5 minutes, I'm like some crazed religious preacher. As soon as I meet you, my first thought is how I can get into talking about Manchester United. Why? I mean, why do I feel this need to talk to people who don't know me and who have never heard of Manchester United? Why do I feel this need? The answer to that question is, I have no idea. Life revolves around Manchester United for so many people, including me. There's no question about that, you know. So I say to all fans, get up, sing and chant. I'm very passionate about America because I love America. The only problem with America, it's a little bit far away from Manchester.
I'm not going on here, going up to McCormick's. So many Man U fans in there. One's got standards to keep up. Cheers.
What is it about the Manchester fans you don't like?
The fact that none of them from Manchester.
It's the biggest franchise in the world, for God's sake.
Yeah.
You know, it's three times bigger than the New York Yankees.
It's not a game. People say to me all the time, yeah, it's a game. It's not a game. It's not like football or baseball. It's not a game.
Country, but you cannot tell me that baseball, hockey, football or basketball comes anywhere near what went on in there today. There was enough emotion and passion in there today to power this great city. This is not about two teams on the day. It's about the entity that is Manchester United. 125 years of passion and spirit. It's not about David Beckham and Roy Keane. It's about this whole spiritual being that is Manchester United.
Well, I'm Manchester United through and through. I think I was from being school. The difference between me and a supporter, I think, is because I've got this, if you like, celebrity status, I'm able to get further within United than most fans. In other words, I have access to the players and to the management and to the whole of United.